Now let's just move on further and talk about the new topic, which is all about the volume of a cuboid. And in this particular topic, we will not only study about the volume of a cuboid, but we'll also study about the volume of a cube. So in this topic, we'll cover the two topics, that a volume of a cuboid and that of a volume of a cube. But before that, we first of all already are aware about the volume, and we know that the solid figures always occupies a particular space in anything. If we are talking about in general, we are talking about any particular solid, then that solid always occupies a certain kind of a space, and the measure of that occupied space is actually nothing but called as its volume. So whenever I'm just talking about a sphere or any particular object, then volume is all about the measure of the space which is occupied by that particular solid. Moreover, if I'm just talking about this particular cylinder, let us suppose this is nothing but an empty cylinder and I'm filling up a substance in this. So the volume of the substance that is actually filling up the interior of this particular cylinder is actually called as the capacity of the container. So if I'm just talking about the two words over here, that volume and a capacity, so how we can differentiate the two things? First of all, the volume of an object is the measure of the space that it occupies, and the capacity of an object is the volume of the substance its interior can accommodate. So these two things are really important to know, that what is the volume and what is if we are talking about the capacity of an object. So this is all about the volume and the capacity. So since we are talking about the volume of a cuboid, so let's just move on further towards the cuboid. So since we know that for forming up a cuboid, we have actually taken a cutout of a rectangle and we just have piled them up in a vertical stack, or we already have stacked them up in a vertical pile in such a manner that it forms a figure of this kind, in which we have the length, the breadth, and now we have one more thing over here, which is nothing but height, because we are talking about the space which is occupied by this particular solid. So we have L over here, we have B over here, we have H over here, means we have the three dimensions over here, and these three are forming up a figure which is nothing but a cuboid. Now we are talking about its volume, because if we are just talking about a single piece of a rectangle, so we are only concerning about its area. But if all these rectangles are piled up together, then they are forming this particular volume, which is nothing but called as the volume of a cuboid. Now what is the volume of the cuboid? So the volume of the cuboid is nothing but the base area into the height, and we know that the base area is nothing but same as that of the area of the rectangle, which is length into breadth. So it would be length into breadth into height, which is nothing but L into B into H, where L is the length, B is the breadth, and H is the height. So this is nothing but called as the volume of a cuboid. Always remember, volume of a cuboid is nothing but L into B into H, where L is the height, L is the length, B is the breadth, and H is the height of this particular cuboid. So this is L, this is B, and this is nothing but H. Now let's just move on further and talk about the volume of a special type of a cuboid when all its sides are equal, means we are talking about cube over here. So this is nothing but a cube. As you can see, the length, breadth, and height are all same, which is nothing but A. So what is the volume of the cube? The volume of the cube is nothing but L into B into H. Now in place of LBH, we have all the sides equal, means H into H into H, which is nothing but A cube. So always remember, the volume of cube is nothing but side cube. We can also say it as edge cube. We can also call it as nothing but A cube, where A is the edge of the cube. So this is all about the volume of a cube as well as a volume of a cuboid. Now let's just practice the questions which are all related with the volume of a cube and that of volume of a cuboid.